Right now, more than ever, it's extremely important that you're leveraging social media to actually build relationships with students and help them along the resident journey. But there's certain mistakes I see that just won't cut it in 2020. I'm gonna cover the 7 mistakes you gotta avoid this year in this video. Alright guys, welcome back to Lease Up Leaders. My name is Nay from Resident Reach, and today we're going to be talking about your 7 tips on not avoiding what to do. Does that make sense? 7 things that you shouldn't do in 2020. Because right now, we know that we really need to leverage online tools to build relationships with students. Because especially with them being at home or they're near campus and they're not going to campus as much, they're going to be hanging out online even more. So you need to be there and you need to build actual authentic relationships. And there's some mistakes I see on a daily basis and I'm just like, Lord, what are you doing? So I figured, hey, you know what, let me make a video and actually help these people out. So even if you're not doing these mistakes, it's good for you to have them on your radar. So let's not waste any more time. Let's hop right into them. Coming in at number 1 is poopy images and boomerangs. If you are still posting boomerangs in 2020 on your news feed and you have someone holding an item going like this, stop. Please, just stop. I'm trying to find a way to put it nicely. I have mine right here. I was trying to find a way to say it like more professionally, but you just need to stop. Is that okay to say? Is it? Just stop. Is that okay? If you really want to post boomerangs, you need to do it on your story. I'm just helping you out. Let's move on to number 2 before I go off too much about this, okay? Okay, going on to number 2. The second mistake is actually talking too much about your property. I could say that, yeah. Talking too much about your property and not talking also about what's happening in your market. I believe the number 1 reason someone will follow you is because 1, it's funny, it's like entertaining, or you're useful. They have it's like, okay, I gotta follow them because I might miss something if I don't. So I might follow you because you post about, hey, here are hacks to do at Texas State. You post funny things that are relatable to me about going to Texas State. You might also talk about how to be ready to move in the fall. You might talk about what to do before you leave for summer break, or like you just give me all these useful tips. And I think that's really what's powerful when you talk about student housing. But there's the other side of it where you don't want to talk too much about you, right? You want to think about your audience and bring value to them. So that kind of connects right directly with number 3. The third mistake that you need to avoid in 2020 is trying too hard to be funny. So I tell you, hey, don't talk too much about your property. But when I say don't talk too much about your property, I don't mean do this, yeah, hey, instead, okay? Like, you know, I don't think students follow your Instagram for your TikTok dances of your CAs. That's just my personal opinion. Maybe so. Maybe they do. Maybe your CAs are just like that good. But most likely, no, okay? So be sure that your number 1 focus is being useful, being valuable to the audience, and then add funny on top of it. I just see so many properties trying so hard, putting so much energy and effort into being funny. We gotta be funny, and it's just bad, right? It's just bad. As opposed to one of my favorite properties, you should follow campusview_GVSU. This is where I got started. Lynn, their marketing director, every time they meet weekly, she says, okay, what's coming up? And then they say, okay, how can we be creative about communicating that? And I challenge you to steal that idea as well. All right, coming in at number 4, the 4th mistake that you need to avoid is not training your CAs on best practices. Simply put, you need them to watch Lease Up Leaders. Seriously, but you need them to watch Lease Up Leaders and genuinely get invested into, get knowledge, get information where they can actually say, oh, okay, this applies to student housing. I remember the first thing I did was like, when I came into student housing, I'm like, okay, where are the social media guides and templates for student housing? I was looking, they weren't there. So we're here as a resource to help you guys like, hey, this is what you should be posting, this is what you shouldn't be posting. So simply put, send them this video after you're done watching it. Just share it with your CAs, text it to them, email it to them, Instagram DMs, whatever. Get this to your CAs and make sure they're actually prepared to do what's necessary, because if they have this info in their back of their minds, then when it's time, they can bring it to the front. At number 5, the 5th mistake you should avoid is running apply now ads to broad audiences. So in 2019 of August, Facebook actually got sued by Fair Housing. And Facebook was like, oh, I didn't know all these ads, discrimination, because we let people target by zip code and income. Oh, okay, we'll take that away. But also we'll take away age and location as well, right? They just took away everything just to be like, we good, we safe, just don't shut us down, right? We're legal. So they just took away a lot of targeting for student housing ads. So it's more important than ever now that when you hit your audience, it's probably gonna be a little more broad than before. And if you say only apply now, you're not giving them enough reasons, the reasons that we're here to live at your property, right? Apply now with a slideshow of your amenities. No, that doesn't work. It's not enough anymore. You're hitting too many people. You're hitting people that are unqualified. You need to drive them down memory lane, AKA the resident journey, okay? So avoid this mistake in 2020. That connects directly with mistake number 6, which is ignoring the resident journey. I always am talking about the resident journey. I'm like, hey, you should be using resident journey for this. You should be doing resident journey for that. And I had someone ask me the other day, Nay? I was like, yeah. And she's like, what's the resident journey? I'm like, the what? She's like, the resident journey. Like, you don't know what the, and she looked at me like, no. I was like, oh. Okay, I realized I should probably actually talk about the resident journey. First and foremost, I'm gonna do a video just only on the resident journey here. So if it's done, it'll be up here, but if it's not done, we'll put a blog post to the resident journey in this description. You can read that for now. But basically, you don't wanna ignore this thing. It's the process from taking someone from a stranger who's never heard of you before to now they live at your property for multiple years and they're telling their friends to live there. It's a step-by-step process. And so often properties go from, hi, nice to meet you, can we get married? Right? They're like, hello, live with us. It's like, bro, I don't even know you. It takes about 7 contacts before someone feels comfortable making a purchase from a brand. So you guys need to actually use the resident journey to do so. Last but not least, at number 7, the 7th mistake that you should avoid in 2020 is using only images and not video. It was a stat that said by 2020, 80% of all content that is consumed will be video. And I'm like, oh yes, I believe it's probably more than that. When you are on Netflix, what are you watching? Are you watching images? I mean, technically they're moving pictures, yes, but are you watching images just like in a slideshow across the screen? When you're, up all night scrolling, like what's really keeping your attention? Is it that super speeded up yummy video or tasty video where they're making this thing and it looks so good? Oh my gosh, it's amazing. Well, you need to be doing the same thing. You need to be creating high quality video content. You can start with your iPhone, but ideally, if you're partnering with someone like Resident Reach who actually creates content and actually allows you to distribute it on your Instagram, then that would be great. You're actually getting content created for you that's high quality. But for now, use this thing. Use the iPhone. Use an app called InShot. Edit it, put music over it, make it look cute. Use TikTok, do whatever you can. Use what you have to start creating video today. Well, that's it, guys. Those are the 7 mistakes that you got to avoid in 2020. As we're getting into the end of this year, we really need to start thinking about what we're posting at a more detailed level, because students are hanging out online, and you can use these tools to actually build authentic relationships and sign leases, increase renewals, all that good stuff. So if you think this was helpful, leave me a thumbs up so I know I should create more content like this. And in the meantime, I hope you stay healthy, stay safe, and I'll plan on seeing you very soon. See ya.